Paul Crady's Barrow Raiders have made the trip to York, but our focus is on here at Post Office Road. John C. Gawley's Whitehaven made the trip to Featherstone Rovers, and this is, like you say, BBC Radio, Cumbria Sports Online. Whitehaven going to be attacking left to right. That's down the hill, of course, here at Post Office Road. It's going to be them to get the game underway. Jake Mason now with the kickoff. It's going to be collected on the full, then now fetch forward. I think it'll be the Loney Leo Tennyson to fetch it forward for Rovers in the early going. They've made it to their own 20. It's then going to be Bowsing at dummy half. Comes across now, a couple of pairs of hands going out the back. Finds Aikens then gets it out, I think, to be
from the
Barley on that side, right hand side. Continue to bring it up the middle now, or looking to get back towards the middle. Do Rovers. Bowles lining way to dummy half. They're going to be 5 short of halfway. Still a couple of tackles left in the bank. Springer then finds Addy's nearly through, just over the halfway line. Bowles scoots out to dummy half before then finding Gadwin Springer. Springer met there by AJ Wallace. King and Hannigan in there as well, but he's going to be held up. Good opening set here for Rovers. Have made it to the Whitehaven 30. Going to come left then into the hands of Deck Patton. Patton's going to put it end over end, high in the sky, and the Papua New Guinean Dean Gebby jumps high for it. Was expecting a penalty there, was Gebby, for being touched in the air, but referee Kevin Muir, who refereed Whitehaven last week, said it was okay, nothing in there. And now it's Whitehaven to fetch the ball forward. Second tackle, Will Evans plays the ball, then goes into the hands now of Joey Romeo. Romeo trying to keep his legs pumping, but being pulled back a metre or two there before the held call comes from referee Kevin Muir. Newton in at dummy half. Scrappy play the ball, and it's going to be a penalty for Whitehaven for interference at that play the ball rather than a knock on. I was heart in mouth there a little bit. I thought Whitehaven had turned that ball over there, Josh.
Yeah, it was a good opening set from Featherstone. They looked to play early on the second tackle, and I don't quite think Whitehaven expected it. And they had a really good finish. Gebby taking the ball a couple of yards off his own line, but that's a coach killer. Ford, he'll be furious about that. Josh Hardcastle with a bit of needless niggle. And it's giving Whitehaven a better position to start a set.
Rio Corker had to go back and take the tap again. He took it from just in front of where the ball had gone out. Coming across now into the hands of AJ Wallace. Wallace tries to nip his head through. As I mentioned, he's played 2 games for Featherstone this season on dual registration from Hull KR, but in the chocolate blue and gold of Whitehaven this afternoon. Ball of Lachlan Hannigan now, just short of the Featherstone 40, so over the halfway line, back it towards the middle now with Lucas Castle. Castle trying to spin out of that tackle and maybe trying to get his arm free, but pulled down 30 metres out, centre field, playing down the hill here at Post Office Road. King now finds Carter then looking to put the kick through. Play that, should be a fresh set of 6 if Carter can take it cleanly, and he can. Referee Kevin Muir judged it wasn't played at, so it's going to be the 5 and last. So Newton's going to have to put the kick in out of dummy half. Just goes over the top, and it's going to bounces into the hands of Gaz Gale. But Romeo right on top there. Newton's probably looking for it to find touch, but he bounced, and Whitehaven have been able to pin Gale behind his own 10 metre line there. Now can look to continue to fetch it forward to Fev, but King, Ainley and Castle all involved in that tackle. Continue look to fetch it forward now to Rovers. Only on their own 20 on the third tackle, but good work there to get an extra metre or two. Bowes is going to be in there at dummy half. Rovers have now made it up to just short of their own 40. Going to go right into the hands then of Paul Turner. Turner's going to look, but the kick in. It's McCarran on the charge down. Does that so often. There's only McCarran on the left hand side, and he's going to try and get that ball down. Turner has got back, and he's lost the ball there when he's hit the floor, as Owen McCarran got the offload away of Featherstone. So Featherstone are back in it. Paul Turner just holding his knee in the background, struggling there. Is the Featherstone Rovers halfback, or is it more his shoulder, or he's definitely struggling in backfield? But it's Aikens that plays the ball now. Then finds Gadwin Springer. Gets the offload away into the hands of Harry Bowles. Trying to spin out the tackle there. Is that Minikin? It is Minikin. AJ Wallace just able to keep hold, and Newton now helps him complete that tackle. They've made it up to the Whitehaven 40 here. Alf Featherstone, Bowles in there at dummy half. Going to elect to go right. That is forward. And eventually given the call, it was shouted, and referee Kevin Muir, I think, just needed a call from a touch judge on the far side from our position here, which I think it's Adam Belafonte on that side. We've got Andy Sweet down below us, and it's going to be a scrum down head and feed to Whitehaven here on their own 40. a bit of a manic minute there, Josh.
Yeah, it's definitely entertaining. I thought, Whitehaven very unlucky, but as you say, Turner came over the top with a sort of, the sort of punch tackle, reaching over, just battered the ball out of McCarron's arm, but he's still down. In fact, it's coming off.
Yeah, the Featherstone physio has given the signal that he's going to need to leave the field, so that's not what James Ford will have wanted.
No.
As ball comes right from the scrum into the hands of Will Evans. Whitehaven calling for the third man in on the tackle. I've got Connor Jones out there. He'll very easily probably do 80 minutes, but it means that Harry Bowles is probably going to have to do 80 minutes out there this afternoon as well, as Ainley now is the man to fetch it forward. So Connor Jones is out there early doors here at Post Office Road. Newton then scoots out to dummy half, then finds King, goes to Carter, then goes across to Mears, and Mason's trying to get out of that tackle and get the ball across to Corkill and Romeo, but couldn't do. Carter jumps in the dummy half, elect to go down the short side with McCarron, and McCarron's lost that, and it was a big tackle there, and Owen McCarron stayed down. He lost the ball on contact, did Owen McCarron, and with the way that Owen McCarron's lying down there, wouldn't surprise me if that is his afternoon over. He's in that sort of position where your arms goes up in the air, where you maybe don't know exactly where you're at, and your body goes in defensive mode. And we've got a stoppage in play here, just over 5.5 minutes gone here at Post Office Road. And it'd be interesting here if anything gets pulled back, because it gives the sort of referee you sometimes say that, they don't initially give anything, but then when the game is stopped, they pull back and sometimes give a penalty. I'm not saying anything was particularly wrong with the challenge, but
I thought Bowes went low, and Gaz Gale probably led with a bit of a shoulder charge, really. And they hit him hard, but he didn't appear to wrap his left arm as far as I could see. And
so you're calling it a shoulder charge, and maybe should be a penalty here for Whitehaven?
I think so. I mean, with the way the lad went down, you've got to assume it was high as well. So, obviously we're a fair distance away, but I would definitely be looking at a shoulder charge here, though. Usually you can tell by the way they're sort of setting up what ref's saying, and Fev look like they're going to play it ball.
Just got ball in hand at the minute, have Fev Rovers. I think that's going to be Owen McCarron's afternoon over for now at least, and if he passes a HIA, I'll be completely honest, I think it'll be a miracle. He's got the Whitehaven water carrier there and the physio with him, just sort of leading him off the field. I think that could be Owen McCarron's afternoon done, and I think he's just going to be calling out the captain here. He's referee Kevin Moore, and I think he's calling out a Whitehaven captain, James Newton, which tells me he's going to be putting it on report, which on report in attack normally means you see a penalty given, but be interesting to see here. So Hugh Worthington is going to be coming on as a HIA replacement. It's just going to be on report and nothing less, and it's going to be a play the ball. So thinks something has gone on, referee Kevin Moore hasn't seen it, can't give a penalty, but Owen McCarron has left the field for the HIA, and Hugh Worthington has gone on the field to replace him. So if it's a HIA and you've got to put it on some sort of report, surely should be a penalty, Josh. But the game is back underway. Rovers I'm
not too clued up on the 18th man rules, but if they get another head injury, does that activate Curtis Steer?
It might well do. I think it's sometimes in the case of foul play, which that hasn't been given as a penalty, so
it could be quite important.
Could be. Newton, Gadwin Springer dropped the ball, collected by Lachlan Hannigan, who's now played the ball, and AJ Wallace is the man now to fetch it forward. So he's pulled down just short of the Featherstone 30. Goes left now into the hands of Ross Ainley. Just over 6 minutes gone here. Still remains 0-0. Featherstone 0. Haven 0 here on BBC Radio, Cumbria Sports Online. Ainley plays the ball. Comes into centre field now with Carter. Out the back to Hannigan. Then just comes across to Wallace. Wallace looks to step inside and try and get away from Tennyson. But Addy's in there, as is Gadwin Springer, trying to make up for that error only a few players ago. Newton comes left now into the hands of Worthington, just sticks his head down and runs forward, does the Welsh international, but it's going to be pushed back 2, 3, 4 metres, 5, 6 before being stopped. There is Worthington in line with the left hand side post, 15 metres out, going to go left into the hands now of Carter, then to King. King looks to step back inside. He could have got the ball away, it was 3-on-1. Plays the ball, 5 and last, comes across to Carter. Carter's going to look to put it cross field. Evans is trying to get there, and it's going to be Greg Minikin who rises the highest. That's no contest, I'll be completely honest, but he's got to be pushed back there. Who's Minikin? Dean Gebby putting the strength on, and he's going to play this ball practically on his own try line, and Fev have got some work here to try and dig out. Trying to get away here are Rovers, and they've made it to sort of their own 7 or 8 metres away, so they've done well there, did the Fev man, which is Connor Wynn.
He's always a ball of energy. I don't know why he don't often get get longer runs in team. You know, he's a habit of scoring, and he always plays well as far as I can tell. I don't know if there's an attitude thing with him, or he can't make training, or what, but he never appears to do enough.
Springer's just broken through. It's just going to be a last minute ankle tap from Ryan King that fetches him down just on the halfway line. Only made another 5 or 6 metres post contact there. It's a 5 and last. Comes across to Patton, comes off the hands of Hannigan, goes backwards, then into the hands of Mason. Mason likes broken field, can't get through much further past than Greg Milliken. Aikens was standing in front of him as well. Into the hands now of a Dean Gebby on. Picked it up on the Whitehaven 40, pulled down 5 short of halfway. Centre field now with Joey Romeo. Romeo then finds Corkill, takes him over the halfway line. Does Corkill. Newton lining way to dummy half, then comes across then to Hugh Worthington, trying to find middle of the field is Hugh Worthington. Fantastic offload, in terms of it's fantastic in looks of stature, because it went about 10-12 metres. Bounce, then finds Ryan King. Danny Addy struggling out there now, so lost one player each already. Really have both sides. It's 6 again because it's a slow play the ball. So Whitehaven on the front foot here. Lucas Castle. That's going to be the first tackle. Newton in there to dummy half. The 22 out. Comes the hands now of Hannigan. Hannigan then looks to go, and he found a little gap. Gebby had to get it. Evans is going to be on his right hand side now. Evans is looking to go on this right hand side corner. Looks to get the ball back inside. Has he got that ball down? Is it going to be a try? Is it going to be a knock on? It's going to be a knock on over the line there from the Papua New Guinea. He couldn't just keep hold of the ball, and he put the ball down simultaneously with it hitting the ground, and it's going to be a tap 20. Got to stop it in play here, because I think Danny Addy's still seeking some treatment in back play, but an opportunity here. Well, it was an opportunity for Whitehaven. The Papua New Guinean just couldn't take the ball, and referee Kevin Weir was going to have a word here, and he's going to send him. He's gone for kicking the ball away. I think as a Dean Gebby, that's going to be his 3rd sin binning of the season. Whitehaven down to 12.
Oh, so disappointing. Evans showed clean set of heels there, skinned Minikin, and it's a speculative ball back inside. Gebby could have potentially took it. With a video ref, you might have gone to check whether he got a grounding down or not. It'd probably been tight, but yeah, just throwing ball away after it's a coach killer. It
certainly is. The Whitehaven head coach, Jonty Gawley, just to our left hand side. Can't see at the moment to see if we've got any sort of reaction, but yeah, not what Whitehaven wanted. It'd been a pretty even start. Danny Addy's still out there at the moment. Got a bit of a limp on, has Addy, so we'll keep an eye on that. But Brad Day now playing this ball over the halfway line. Our Rovers. Bowles looks to scoop from dummy half. He's going to be stopped by Worthington. Wallace in there as well, as he's a 3rd Whitehaven defender, who is Ross Ainley. They've made it to the, and it's going to be a knock on in that tackle from Harry Bowles. So Whitehaven's defence sort of on top there, and it's made it to, it's going to be a scrum down, head and feed here to Haven. As you mentioned, Josh, it's been a scrappy start of game. Both sides not really in the best of forms, and we've seen that in the opening 10 minutes.
Yeah. With no disrespect to either team, I think if they were playing a team that were on good form, either side could probably 12 points down by now. I think both teams are sort of looking for someone to spark them. And they could do with just trying to do it themselves rather than standing and watching, I think. So
Rio Corkill gets the ball from the scrum, and it's taken down 32 metres away from his own line. Joey Romeo now sort of jumps up in the air. It's maybe a chance to find a gap in the defence, but he's made it to 5 short of halfway, maybe just a little bit more than that. Newton in there to dummy half, comes right to Worthington, who takes Whitehaven over the halfway line and gets the offload away into the hands of Ross Ainley, but he's wrapped up pretty much where Worthington was. Over the halfway line of Whitehaven. Newton in the dummy half in centre field now with Castle. Out the back to Carter. Carter looks to take the line on. Run at Josh Hardcastle. And he's still going well there, he's Jay Carter. He's made sort of 5, 6, 7 metres post contact. He's going to play this ball 32 metres away. Newton in a dummy half. Dubby's right, goes left. Mason finds King. Calls over forward pass. King's going to play this ball 20 metres out. 10 metres or so in from the left-hand touchline, the far left-hand touchline. Worthington gets the offload away once again. Now finds King. King with a little dink to the corner. Romeo's going to try and get there, and he's put the ball down in that left-hand side corner. Or has he not? He's going to be offside there. Is Joey Romeo just pinned for offside at the kick, or Whitehaven would have been in that left-hand side corner? It must have been tight. It was King. Romeo on the end of it. Penalty to Fev for offside.
Yeah, it's very unlucky that. I mean, I were interested to see how King would go on edge. I was really impressed with him when I watched him at your last time out on the radio, and I think he's a brilliant footballer. And then just on short side, 3v3, it's a smart kick, and they're very unlucky there.
So Gadwin Springer now looking to fetch his ball forward, then finds Danny Addy. Addy's the man that's going to be wrapped up just over the Rovers 40, 8 metres or so short of halfway. Bows in there, comes then out the back to Patton. Patton then out the back now to Caleb Akins. Akins then gets it across to Middikin. Middikin then finds Wynn. Wynn's then going to be close to the touchline. Evans just grabs hold of his shirt tails. 22 metres out now. Middikin in there at dummy half. Comes right, couple of tackles left. Patton then finds Jones. Jones looks to take the line on. Actually finds then Brad Day. Got an overlap here. Whitehaven able to cope, and it should be. It's going to have to go down. I don't like that. I don't see how the attacking team still get the advantage. To me, it should be a penalty, as the Whitehaven defender Lachlan Hannigan was taken out, and he just told Middigan to go down and play the ball. There's no disadvantage for Rovers really. It's going to be the 5 and last. Springer 5 metres out just to the left hand side of the post. Bows in there at dummy half, goes right to Patton, finds Jones. Jones then just puts a little kick there. He's going to have to try and get there. Who is there on that right hand side? Whitehaven's defence didn't seem to just cope with that at all. Maybe lost the ball on a bounce, but it's Conor Barley on the right hand side. Just his 3rd appearance of the season on dual registration from the Hull Kingston Rovers. It's his first try in a Rovers shirt. Go from a defence to attack the Rovers, and in the 14th minute here at Post Office Road, it's Featherstone Rovers 4, it's Whitehaven 0.
Yeah, it's probably against the run of play really. Featherstone have not been in Whitehaven's 20, and they had a little bit of opportunity on this left hand edge through Conor Wynn, taking advantage of where Gebby was, and they've just come back to that right hand side, and it looks like the play was sort of finished really. Connor Jones looked like he wasn't really sure what to do, and he's just tried a little stab in for himself, and to be fair, Conor Barley's come absolutely flying onto it, and a pretty impressive finish, diving and putting it down and doing a bit of a forward roll as he did it. So you're a bit against the run of play, but I don't think Whitehaven will be too concerned. They're a man down. They've been shown a few edges, and hopefully they'll just try wrestle back in on over the next couple of minutes.
As you can probably tell by the reaction around us, Deck Patton's been able to add the extras, so it's here now. Featherstone 6, Whitehaven 0. We'll see some scores elsewhere from around Rugby League. It's still scoreless in the Super League. Salford and Hull scoreless at Dewsbury and Doncaster and Swinton at Widnes. Wakefield 6-0 against Batley. York 8, Barrow 0, dropping down into League 1. Anthony Murray's side seem to finally get the victory that they well need to try and get back in the playoff hunt in League 1. Newcastle 0, Workington 34. That's a 2 o'clock kick-off. Half 2 kick-off, North Wales 6, Midlands 10, and 3 o'clock Cleefley 0, Rochdale 0. Jake Mason with the kick-off. It's deep, and it's just taken in the field of play by the Featherstone man on that right-hand side. He's made it up to 20 metres. I think it could be Barley, the try scorer, that took that. Rovers now continue on the front foot. Gaz Gill plays the ball. Bows in there, now finds Danny Addy, comes across then to Patton, out the back to Akins, then Middikin. They're finally playing at Featherstone and realised that Dingaby's not on his right hand side, and they've made plenty of ground there. Have Rovers are going to play these 33 metres out from the Whitehaven line. Patton now finds Addy. Danny Addy in centre field now, makes it up to 25 away from the Whitehaven line. Bows comes left from dummy half to Patton. Patton's going to put a little kick in behind the back, and it's going to be Caleb Akins to get there. And how often have we seen that for Whitehaven? They concede back-to-back tries, down to 12 men as well. That one definitely hasn't come against the run of play. Just over 15 minutes gone here at Post Office Road. They've gone back-to-back of the home side. Caleb Akins in for what is his, I think it's his 8th try of the season for the Welsh international. Featherstone 10, Haven 0.
Yeah, it's what you don't want. I think they have to certainly do something about this right hand side. Gebby, they're targeting where Gebby is, and Evans is still defending where a centre would defend there, and they're just trying to show them the outside and map off, and it's not really working. Deck Patton, he just keeps going back to channel, and getting his numbers right. Even then it was a 5-on-4, with Whitehaven scrambling, and the kick. Akins got onto it. I think Brad Day could have probably got onto it as well if it, he'd have pushed a little bit harder. And they're certainly going to have to, step out a man, I think, and work harder from the inside.
Patton able to add the extras once again here at Post Office Road, means it's Featherstone Rovers 12, Whitehaven 0, and you see it quite a lot, don't you, Josh, that a side's able to compete, especially well down to 12, but then they concede one, and how often then do they concede another, either straight away or maybe the set after, and it's just one of them things that happens in rugby league, that once a side gets onto the front foot, it's a struggle.
Rugby league is such a momentum game, and you get the decisions, you get the front foot play of the balls when you're in that ascendancy. I don't know why, but teams seem to run a little bit harder, and teams seem to tackle a little bit softer when momentum's against you, and that's purely down to just wanting it a little bit more from that set.
Jake Mason with the kick-off, collected on by Gareth Gill. Gadwin Springer, he was the man to fetch it forward. He's made it to the 22-metre line before being taken down. Bowles in there. A couple of minutes left before we'll see the return of Gebby back on the field here for Whitehaven, but they've conceded 12 points while the Papua New Guineans been off in the sin bin. Comes across now to Addy. Addy then just pops it up to Tennyson. They're looking to come down this side once again when Tennyson plays his ball. He's pulled up on his own 40. Bowles in there at dummy half. Going to come across to Addy. Addy will take it to the line. You'd imagine and find Patton. No, he's going to try and take the line on himself. Just over the halfway line now is the experienced loose forward. Bowles is going to scoot from dummy half. Realised there was no markers in there and has made 15-18 metres before being pulled down. It's the 5 and last, the 25 out. Going to come down this left hand side. The side where Whitehaven is short. Double pump there does Patton, then finds Brad Day, and I don't think it just fell there as it was. He does say sorry to Connor Winders, Patton, but it's going to be a turnover ball, and Whitehaven survived, but Rovers have gone 90 metres.
Yeah, Ford will be really happy with that. It's a slowed, it's a controlled restart coming out the corner inside that that box, that 10 metre in front touchline, 10 metre in front trial line, and it's tough, and you can stack in and put a lot of pressure on here. Whitehaven really have to front up to get out of and get down the field.
Romeo now looking to fetch the ball forward. Old McCarran has just come out and taken a place in the dugout. He'll need to return in the next minute or two if he is going to return here for Whitehaven this afternoon, so we'll keep an eye on that. Newton's going to scoot from dummy half for, and Romeo's play the ball and finds the Featherstone man offside, so it's a much needed penalty for Whitehaven, and going to have an opportunity here to get themselves down the field. Gebby does return, so Whitehaven back up to a full complement of 13. Lachlan Hannigan with ball in hand, going to kick it downfield here. Just nearly takes the cameramen out above the gantry here at Post Office Road, just over the halfway line. Ball play is stopped because there's the ball ricocheted onto the field, so just having to wait for that to be cleared. Referee Kevin Moore is going to be happy now. Waves time back on. Evans takes a tap and then finds AJ Wallace. Wallace is going to be pulled down. 35 out from the Featherstone line, 10 in from this near right hand side touchline for Whitehaven. Lucas Castle now in its centre field, in line with maybe just the right hand side post. Newton in there at dummy half. Lex to look to shape right, then going left. Carter then finds now Hugh Worthington. Worthington with the offload, bounces into the hands of Carter. There's a little bit of a space there, then finds Lucas Castle. Castle's going to be pulled down 5-6 metres out. Hannigan has to sprint in a dummy half. He's judged to have knocked on while picking that ball up. He wasn't, or is it maybe Castle not playing it correctly? Either way, he had to jump in at the last minute, did Lachlan Hannigan, so you can maybe forgive him for that, but I think he's going to be an incorrect play of the ball, I think, there on Lucas Castle. Does the signal, does referee Kevin Moore.
Yeah, just unlucky there, It's fine margins, I think if that had been given, King was romping onto it and would probably got over the top of Hardcastle then, and we're looking at 12-6, so it's those fine margins and things that go against you when you're doing it tough.
Some early changes for Fev coming onto the field. Ben Nakabuai and Maurice Kamano, Gadwin Springer and Leo Tennyson, so props for props. A swap there from James Ford just on the 21st minute. Gareth Gale's now the man to fetch it forward for the home side. He's centre field, stopped by the time he plays the ball, going to be a 6 again. He played the ball exactly on halfway, so Rovers now fetching it forward. Nakabuai is the man to do so. He's pulled down 28 metres out. Castle and King behind the play. The ball comes across now to Jones. Jones looking to step inside. He's used his pace head. Connor Jones is only through. He's one-on-one with Jake Mason and he's being pulled down there as Jones comes right now into the hands of Danny Addy. Then finds Nakabuai once again. Second time in this set, just fresh onto the field. Whitehaven looking to respond with their own. Guy Graham and Noah High getting ready to come on down below us. Danny Addy comes right then to Josh Hardcastle, but it's a third try of the afternoon for Featherstone Rovers, and Whitehaven players some down on their haunches out there, and it's been a complete turnaround since that try in the 13th minute from Conor Barley, which has seemingly come from nothing. They've scored 3 tries in 9 minutes of Rovers. How often have we said that against Whitehaven so far this season? Just not able to cope. And it's over on the right hand side. Was it Barley? I think I shouted. It's just gone over on the right hand side. Hardcastle. Yeah. That's his second try of the season for the second rower. The hometown boy come through at Fev Lions did Hardcastle. It's Featherstone 16, Whitehaven 0.
Yeah, I used to play against Josh as a kid growing up. We're the same age. He was always a tough kid, nuggety player, and he's got a very good knack at getting under people's skin. And I've seen him and Ryan King having a bit of a verbals with each other throughout the game, and Hardcastle certainly got the better of him then, and Kings just want to settle that score relatively shortly, I reckon.
So Guy Graham and Noah High just waiting around the halfway line now, and Patton is able to add the extras. So just over 22.5 minutes gone here at Post Office Road. It is now Featherstone 18, Whitehaven 0, and they've got a lot of work to do with Whitehaven to try and get back into this game, as Noah High and Guy Graham are out there. It's Lucas Castle, I imagine Ross Ainley and the men to leave the field. I can see Lucas Castle just down below us, can't see Ross Ainley as of yet, but I can't see him out there, so I imagine that's the man who's left the field for Whitehaven, and it's going to be amazing now with the kick-off. Yeah, Ainley's just down below us, so Aikens takes the kick-off and then finds, is it Kamano? It is Kamano, and he's stopped 10 metres out from his own line. Bowsey's in there at dummy half. Gareth Gales is doing a lot of work in the middle for his side, but I suppose when you the frame that you are of Gareth Gale, you're essentially a winger and a second, maybe a second row forward in one for James Ford's side, but they've made it to just short of their own 40 here at Featherstone Rovers. Bowles dives out to dummy half. He makes 10, 12, 13, 14 metres before being pulled down. Wallace and Hannigan involved there. They're over the halfway line. Going to come down this left hand side with Patton. Patton gets the offload away back into the hands of Aikens. Aikens tries to get away from Wallace. Eventually stopped with the help of James Newton and Noah High. 5 and last. 32 out from the Whitehaven line. Jones is going to put it high, trying to put Mason under pressure. Mason able to collect it from underneath. Just the floodlight, way here, but he's going to play it short of his own 10 metres. Now finds Dean Gebby. The Papua New Guinean makes it to just over 10 metres away from his own line. Will Evans now trying to lead his side forward for his defence on top. Third tackle still short of their own 20 here are Whitehaven. Lenny Ellis out there now for Whitehaven, trying to get on the edge and find a gap. Finds Rio Corkill, but he's going to be wrapped up there. So King dives in at dummy half now. They're now into the hands of Guy Graham. It's going to be the 5 and last. Graham's pulled down on his own 30. So it's going to be a good kick here from Carter. It's going to go right down the field. It is going to split the winger and the fullback. Is it going to be too much in it? I don't think Whitehaven would mind, but it's a great kick, and Caleb Aikens is happy to collect it on his own try line. Asking for an option on his left hand side, but takes the line on himself. Great kick, but the chase maybe wasn't the best, and it means Aikens has got it to his own 30 metres where he did collect it on his own try line. It's now Minikin to fetch it forward. Minikin trying to get a fast play of the ball. Patton's going to dive in at dummy half. Went under Will Evans, and referee Kevin Moore said that was okay. Gets the offload away. I think he's kind of winning into the hands of Harry Bowles. Now finds Addy. Addy's just going to have to take it on himself here. He was trying to look for an option there, but there wasn't too many in Featherstone White that give him an option. Just over the halfway line. Bowles now goes right to Connor Jones. Jones looks to come back inside. He's a real live wire, isn't he? Connor Jones, it's such a, when you're able to bring a player like that from the bench a lot earlier and probably in a different position than he wanted to, but Featherstone, and we're going to have a penalty, I think, here. Is it going to be was it on that side? Barley, I think, was taken out of the ball. We're just going to wait for the referee signal from Kevin Moore. Just having a word with his touch judge down that side. He's going to have a stoppage in play. He's got to pull out Joey Romeo here, and that's never a good sign when a player's been going to be pulled out. Is it just going to be a talking to, or could it be another sin bin in here for Whitehaven?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think he just gave him a little nudge after that ball had gone, but their numbers were really poor there. It was 7-on-4, and they did scramble very well to actually shut down the play, but there was a few tired looking lads that were moving out towards Whitehaven's right edge when they really needed to be going left, and obviously Fev have got a reward from that. You've got a repeat, back-to-back set, and Whitehaven are back defending their 10-metre line.
Make it with just in the 27th minute here at Post Office Road. It's now going to be Nakabruai to try and fetch it forward. He's going to play this ball just over the Whitehaven 20 in the middle now to Patton. Patton then out the back to Aikens. Aikens then looks to shape and dummy and finds Brad Day. Day's going to be pulled down 5 metres out, 6 again. Whitehaven need to survive here, otherwise we come in for a very long afternoon here in West Yorkshire. Kamano's the man now fetched down. 2 metres short, Bowles in there at dummy half, comes to the middle now with Addy. Addy just offloads it to Nakabruai. Taken down there by Guy Graham is Nakabruai. Bowles in there at dummy half, comes left into the hands of Patton. Patton gets it away, but bounces into the hands of Minikin. Minikin gets it away from into the hands of Connor Wynn. Wynn steps back inside. Fantastic play from Featherstone. He's knocked it on. He's knocked it on over the line as Connor Wynn. And that could be. Could that be the catalyst? Maybe the survival point that Whitehaven need. Wynn simply looked to be in that left-hand side corner, in for what would have been his 12th try of the season. Yeah. And seemingly he must have just dropped it, looking to ground the ball.
There didn't appear to be any sort of overriding pressure to force that, and he's giving himself a bit of a telling off still now. And it were really good by Minikin. He stood up Evans well, got on, engaged Gebby, and then he's put Wynn away, who's then dived back on inside, and that should have been another 4 points to Featherstone.
Ellis in there at dummy half now. Whitehaven over their own 40. It's into the hands of Mason. Mason just going backwards, but towards the halfway line. Ellis now finds then Noah High. High's going to make it to just short of the Featherstone 40 in it, centre field. Just about to tick over into the 29th minute. Jake Carter's looking to put the ball over the top. It bounces. Caleb Aikens just got it at the last minute. Carter was on the chase. Romeo was on the chase. He was there with Aikens, but was just waiting for the perfect moment to take it. And took it just before the Whitehaven attackers could get there and pinch his pocket. Jones dives in at dummy half. Hardcastle now is the man to fetch it forward. Whitehaven trying to push him back, but it's taken down 17 metres short of halfway, just over the Featherstone 30, into the hands now of Connor Wynn. They'll look to try and make up for that error, which should have seen Featherstone in for their 4th try of the afternoon. 3 metres short of halfway, comes left to Danny Addy, who takes Rovers now into Whitehaven territory. It's going to be the 5 and last. 40 metres out. Going to look to come down this short side with Patton, and Patton just with a bit of game management there, just happy to put the ball over the touch here at Post Office Road, and seeing that nothing was on, let's make sure we can get a defensive line set, Josh, and make sure Whitehaven's going to play the ball.
Yeah, I have done a fair bit of work with James Ford in the past, and we at the Acorn talk a little bit about his style of rugby and how he wants the game played, and we call it 40 ball, and it's all about just those 10 metres in from the try line and touch line, and that's just where he wants to finish all the time. He doesn't ask for his wingers centres to compete with the kicks. He says, let him catch it and we'll just make them work out from yardage, and that's 40 ball. And I think barring a couple of early errors in sets, I think he'll be really happy with how Featherstone have been finishing the sets this half.
They really have grew into the game, have the home side. It's going to be a Dean Gebby now trying to fetch Whitehaven forward. He's going to be pulled down just short of the Whitehaven 40 in centre field. Ellis in there at dummy half. No Marcus, who's going to scoot and makes 11-12 metres. He's trying to get a fast play ball. Mason's in there at dummy half. He scoot, then looking to put the kick over the top. I don't think the Whitehaven wingers were on the same wavelength and were just holding back just a little bit, but Aikens has collected it, but he's going to be wrapped up 11-12 metres out from his own line into the hands then of Connor Barley, I think. Barley then makes it to his own 20. Bowles in there at dummy half, so it's Jones. Jones now finds Gareth Gale. Toby Warren's getting ready to come on for Featherstone down below us. The Leeds Rhinos youngster who joined earlier this week on loan. Now into the hands of Minikin, who's coming off the wing to fetch it forward. Bowles is going to be spelled, so be interesting to see what sort of turnaround we get here. Maybe Danny Addy into the halves. I think it is going to be Addy into the halves. Brad Day's got round 1, 2, 3. It's going to be a penalty here. Brad Day's called high. He just looked at referee Kevin Muir, and Whitehaven knew straight away it was going to be a penalty. just their own worst enemy at times with Whitehaven, and just giving Featherstone going to be a fresh set of 6 they really don't need.
Yeah, it's one of them, a couple of lads in middle at field, Guy Graham, Hugh Worthington, they're looking a bit tired, and that wore a tired man's tackle. Brad Day just got on the outside of him, and you're just reaching over the top. You can't come over the shoulders now with the rules, and it's an easy penalty for ref to give, and as you say, Whitehaven are back on their own 10 again.
Hardcastle plays his ball on their 20. Danny Addy's now moved into the halves, finds Nakabuai trying to get it through. Wallace nearly does. Graham and Hannigan's in there, another 6 again. Whitehaven desperate to slow this play the ball down too much. Jones goes right into the hands of Addy, then finds Toby Warren. Warren's put down onto his back, 2-3 metres out, just to the right hand side of the posts. Jones going to look to scoot in from dummy half there. He does that so often, but he's stopped a metre short, right under the black dot. Kamano's in at dummy half, comes left to Danny Addy, then comes across to Nakabuai. Nakabuai's almost over, he's pulled down. Left hand side of the post now, 3 metres out. Patton then comes across to Brad Day on the crash ball, and the Whitehaven defence is at 6s and 7s, and Brad Day is going to cross for his 9th try of the season. Prolific for the second row of forwards. And just as we tick over into the 32nd minute here at Post Office Road, it is now Featherstone Rovers 22, Whitehaven 0.
Yeah, it's a numbers-based game. They played to block shape the play before, and Addy had hit Nakabuai on a lead line, and Whitehaven's players were already short on numbers for that play, and then they just didn't move out from the middle to support that right edge, and Deck Patton took it into the line, and Brad Day's one of the best line running back rowers in the league, and he's hit it hard, and he's just ran straight between 2 defenders who are making tired attempts really, and they need a lot more help from the middle to get out there in that situation. That they can't expect them to defend a 20 metre channel with just 3 of them. 3 on 5, you're always going to lose out.
You always are. Such a numbers game is rugby league. It's also such a momentum game, and Fev really have the momentum here at Post Office Road. Patton adds the extras, remains 100% with the boot, 4 from 4. And one thing we can confirm is we won't see Owen McCann this afternoon. He has been out far too long to make any sort of return now, so Whitehaven down a man on the bench. We think Featherstone's down a man on the bench. We don't think we're going to see Paul Turner again this afternoon. He come off holding his shoulder early doors, but it's now Featherstone Rovers 24, Whitehaven 0 here on BBC Radio, Cumbria Sport Online. Mason with the kick-off, and it's going to be Gasgell. How? First of all, how didn't he knock it on? And then second of all, how has he stayed in the field of play, Josh Mortimer?
It's one of them, isn't it? When you're 24-0 up, that happens for you. When you're 24-0 down,
it goes the other way.
He'd have knocked on, he'd have bashed his head on rails, everything would have gone wrong for him.
I think Toby Warren is now the man to fetch it forward. The youngster on loan from the Rhinos, making his debut this afternoon for the Rovers, and Patton now with ball in hand. Hardcastle then comes back inside, so Minikin comes back inside. He's pulled down exactly on halfway. Jones in there at dummy half, goes right into the hands end of Danny Addy. Finds Nakabuai. Nakabuai is going to be stopped, but it takes 3 Whitehaven defenders to do so. It is going to be the 5 and last. Centre field, 40 metres out, going to come left into the hands of Deck Patton. Completely controlled the game in this last 15-20 minutes of Patton. Mason takes the kick, as he struggled to do in the second half last week, but able to take it on that occasion. 15 metres out. Carter in there at dummy half, then finds Dean Gebby, trying to get the offload away was Gebby, and Mason dives in at dummy half, and there's no markers there, so it makes he's made nearly 20 metres there to Jake Mason scooting from dummy half. Lenny Ellis in there at dummy half now, goes across then to Carter. Carter just has to step up and take the line on. Wasn't too many options lining up on his left. Plays his ball on halfway. Ellis in there, comes across to Noah High, just sticks his head down. Forward does the young Waddington low knee. 5 and last, 41 out from the Featherstone line, goes left to Carter. Carter's going to put it deep. Chase is good, but not going to put too much pressure, and just trying to line up there against Gasgill. Gets away from Romeo. Corkill again gets the pass inside to Akins. Akins is then going to be wrapped up by Lachlan Hannigan and Guy Graham. 12 metres out, centre field. Finds Connor Wynn. Wynn's going to make 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 metres before being pulled down. Just a metre short of the 30. In there, a dummy half comes down short side. Finds Minikin. Minikin's going to be wrapped up. 10 short of halfway. 15 in from the near touch line. Jones in there at dummy half. It's going to go right into the hands of Patton. Patton's then going to look potentially go for the 40-20. It's got the legs. Has it got the angle? It has. It's got the legs and the angle. Fantastic vision. Fantastic vision from Deck Patton. And it's going to be a tap here. And Whitehaven really living dangerously. Just short of 4 minutes left to the half-time break. And Fev could be in, and you feel it's going to be a long way back anyways, but if they get it fifth, it could be also up before the half-time hoot to Josh Mortimer.
Yeah, playing uphill, you know, it's not quite like Batley, but it's not a 24-point hill, that is for sure. So, yeah, Whitehaven need to show a bit of resolve here and really keep them out.
So Jones in there, the dummy half comes left into the hands of Brad Day. I think that your said all it said it needed to say. Brad Day's gone over on the left hand side.
Yeah, that were tired. That were tired tackling. Where AJ Wallace has been defending, he's been peppered all half really. He's done a boatload of work, and they're just staying in that channel. You know, and you look at the players around him. You know, you look at Evans, you look at Gebby. I think it was Noah High. Like their look, their body language is I'm done in. I'm really tired. I'm doing it tough, and you know that Feather thriving on that, and you know they really need to double down and you know spread the workload out a little bit and just try to get back on that front foot. And you know that. Well, I think Kimono and Nakabuai barely made any tackles, and all they've been doing is just carrying ball. And you know, Featherstone are looking fresh, and Whitehaven are needing half time to have a rest, I think.
They've absolutely peppered this right hand side edge ever since Gebby was simbing. Patton's going to knock it over to remain 5 from 5. It's Featherstone 30, Whitehaven 0 here on BBC Radio Cumbria Sport Online. And we said beforehand that Featherstone have won 9 straight against Whitehaven, and they average pretty much 50 points a game in doing so. There's been a 78 points in there, a 76 in there, 60 at Whitehaven last season. And Josh Mortimer, you said you expected a tighter game. It's been anything but.
Yeah, I mean, I'm clueless. Just ignore me, I reckon. Yeah, I didn't see this. But you know, as we said, the way the game started, Whitehaven could easily been 12-0 up. You know, they could have been, and that Gebby Simbin really gave Featherstone the come on that you know they're sort of waiting for, getting an advantage, and you know it easily could have gone the other way. And you know, Gaz Gale's potential shoulder charge on McCarran, you know that could have produced a card, and you know it's them fine margins, and now obviously Featherstone have got the momentum. They're coming down this left edge again, and you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they do.
Going to be England's left hand side, back inside of Caleb Akins, and Whitehaven's defence is really at 6s and 7s. It's just not out the races at the moment. Akins going to play this. They're 20 metres out from the Whitehaven line. Addy's going to put a kick over the top. Oh, Gareth Gale almost there, and he'd have been in for the walk-in for his 12th of the season. Enterprising play from the home side. But when you're 30 points to the good, you can get away with stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can't play in their 20 when you're 30-0 up, like, when can you? Yeah. I mean, Gaz Gale's probably the longest winger in the league, and he could probably have done with another 6 inch then, I reckon.
Yeah, it was. You know, it wasn't the worst kick in the world for us from Danny Addy. It was just maybe 6-8 inches, just a little bit short, and it'd have been right into the hands there of Gale. We make it within the final 10 seconds, and Whitehaven cannot wait for the half-time hoot at the sound here. Yeah. At Post Office Road, Evans is going to look at playing the ball.
Yeah, I mean, Whitehaven are looking flat, they're looking tired, and who's carried out? You know, the boys who've carried out there, it's Evans and Gebby and Mason, and you know, where's the left edge? Where's the energy from them? You know, the right edge is doing all the tackling, and now they're coming out of yardage. You know, I'd certainly be questioning that if I were involved in the Whitehaven setup.
Hooter sounds here at Post Office Road, and what a poor first half it's been for Jonty Gawley's Whitehaven. 5 tries conceded.
That right edge, you know, and Deck Patton's had a field day, to be fair, and you know, and hopefully Whitehaven can show a bit more resolve this half. And no.
Oh, if you don't laugh, you'll cry.
Yeah.
You will. If you don't laugh, you'll cry, Whitehaven fans. The kick-off, he bounces in the Lachlan Hannigan. It's quite a hard pitch here at Featherstone. He bounced over Hannigan, he come off his hand. He bounced away from Noah High. He bounced away from Noah High, and by the time he collected it, he dove over the dead ball line.
Yeah.
Goal line drop out, Jake Mason with the drop out. And like you say, Whitehaven fans, if you don't laugh, you'll cry. But it's going to be collected by Connor Wynne. Wynne is then going to be the man to fetch it forward, and it's going to be 35 metres out, and it's just the leg up that Featherstone didn't need at the start of the second half when you're already 13-0 up. But Danny Addy now with ball in hand just pops it up to Maurice Camano. Camano's then pulled down. Graham and Ryan King's in there. Jones goes left into the hands. Patton runs it to the line, then out to Addy. Addy has to bend and finds Aikins. Aikins steps inside. The Welsh international fullback just pulled down 5-6 metres away. Comes across now into more towards the middle with Nakabuai. Nakabuai's taken down. Left hand side of the post. 3-4 metres out. Jones then comes right into the hands of Patton. Patton that looks to take the line on, and that just pushes off Lenny Ellis, the young man from Hawker Yard, and it's going to be Deck Patton's first try in a Featherstone Rovers shirt here. And 90 seconds into the second half here at Post Office Road, it started off exactly how the first half ended. Patton goes over on the right hand, just next to the right hand side post, and in a minute it's going to be Featherstone Rovers 36, Whitehaven 0.
Yeah, we spoke about it a little bit in the first half. There was a hanging kick that Gaz Gale sort of palmed up in the air and managed to catch, and we said that's something you come up with when you're 24-0 up. But if you're 24-0 down, you make a calamity of it and headbutt the railings, and that's pretty much how Whitehaven started this half. And then they played two block shapes just at sticks, and I don't know whether Patton's deliberately picked out Lenny Ellis or not, but he's decided, I think, before he's even caught the ball, that he's going to carry and go himself, and he's got them bumper bars up, and he's just sort of shrugged him off and flopped off that line, and he's having a good game, is Deck Patton, there's no doubt about it, and he's just capped it off with a little try for himself. So
36-0 here at Post Office Road. That's Deck Patton's first try, as I mentioned, in a Featherstone Rovers shirt. It's just his third game for Rovers after this mid-season switch from Swinton Lions, but that is a collective haul of 16 points for Patton of the 36 from Featherstone here at Post Office Road. Second half just getting underway, and it's going to be Mason with the kick-off, collected on the full by Connor Wynne, who then finds Toby Warren, and the Leeds Loney is able to make it to his own 20. Comes inside now. They're looking to play already here at Featherstone. They can tell the 36 and all the confidence is flowing through them. They're happy to shift the ball left to right and right to left, and Hardcastle plays it just short of his own 30, and then finds Camano. Camano's nearly bursting through that tackle. He's made sort of 15 metres for being pulled down. Centre field. Jones in there at dummy half. Goes left to Nakabuai. Nakabuai then finds Patton. Patton then back inside to Brad Day. He's on a hat-trick. Is Brad Day. 5 metres over halfway. Still a good couple of tackles left in this set. Then going to come across then to Addy. Addy just steps up. Tries to get away from Lenny Ellis, and he almost does. He's pulled down 30 metres out. 5 and last. Going to go left into the hands of Patton. Patton then goes left into the hands of Day. Day looks to step back inside. It's not the worst place to turn the ball over, especially when you're 36 points up, and Whitehaven are going to play this 18 metres away from their own line. Yeah,
it just slows everything down again, doesn't it? It's a controlled restart. Again, it's not quite in that corner, but it's it's still it's in the 20 box, and they'll be happy with that. It's grinding, it's pressure rugby. If Whitehaven are going, definitely knocked on that.
I think Whitehaven got away with one there. Yeah. I'll be completely honest. Who was it? Was it Gebby that played the ball, and and he's got him for crossing or whatever it may be, not standing square at mark. It's just an absolute.
Yeah.
It's just Whitehaven got away with one. Let's be completely honest. It was. And it's Whitehaven's got a penalty, so they've been able to put the kick into touch. They're going to start in Featherstone's half. Will Evans takes a tap 35 metres away from the Featherstone line, 10 metres in from touch. He's pulled down 27 metres away from the Featherstone line, into the hands now of Hugh Worthington. Worthington trying to get his arm free for an offload, then he does into the hands of High, then finds Carter. Carter then just looks to take the line on. He's going to be wrapped up 11 metres out. King in a dummy half. Goes right then into hands of Mason. High in the middle. Pulled down is Noah High. Now gets the offload away into the hands then of Lenny Ellis. Ellis is going to look to throw it backwards, and it's going to be a one-on-one strip. It could be a Whitehaven scrum down here potentially. Just waiting to see for the signal from referee Kevin Moore, because it went backwards and collected by a Featherstone man. Clock stopped. Scrum down, head and feet to Featherstone. So I'm not too sure. I was maybe saying it wasn't a one-on-one strip, it was a knock on each. That was what referee Kevin Moore was saying. Scrum down, head and feet to the home side, Josh.
Yeah, it were a good set. You know, they were threatening. Noah High had a good carry. Hugh Worthington, you know, he's got his arm free a couple of times, got offloads out. You know, it were promising. You know, that they didn't lack any effort there. They got upfield well, and you know, hopefully they can have a good defensive set now and build on that.
Gareth Gill makes it to the Featherstone 20 and comes across into the hands of Barley, who King bumps off. Plays the ball 22-23 metres away from his own line into the hands of now and Minikin. The target, Lenny Ellis out there. He's only slight. He's the whole KR hooker, and they are targeted him in the middle. This Featherstone side comes into the hands now of Addy, then finds Hardcastle. Hardcastle's pulled down just short of the halfway line. George is going to scoop from dummy half, then goes left into the hands of Patton. Patton's going to run it across the line, then finds Brad Day. Day then gets it out to Minikin, who's back in that centre berth. It's going to be the 5 and last. They're 30 metres out here. Only a couple of metres in from the far left-hand touchline. Patton. Crossfield kick. Romeo has to rise and just is nailed then by the Featherstone defence. You mentioned in the first half that he doesn't really like his centres or wingers competing. He's just happy he's James Ford for them to be nailed, and that was a perfect example of it there, Josh.
Yeah, you know, again, that'll be a tick in the box. You know, that I guarantee he'll be setting targets of, you know, 20 sets a game or something like that. You know, they're just coming away from, you know, tough yardage carries. You know, like, you know, they're on tackle 3 and they're just at the 20.
Should be a 6 again or a penalty, that.
Yeah.
Get the penalty eventually to Whitehaven.
Yeah.
Because it was the second effort on Dean Gebby. I think it could have been from Toby Warren. While the Papua New Guinean was trying to get up and play the ball. It's Haven's 4th penalty of the afternoon. Somehow they have the penalty count in their favour. I think 2 of them have come in obviously in the early going here in the second half. The kick isn't the best from Carter. He's only really made 15 metres on that. I know you're going uphill, but it doesn't have that much of an impact. And Corkill takes a tap and elects to take it on himself, does the former Barrow man. 8 short of halfway. Ellis in there, a dummy half. Going to go right into the hands then of Hugh Worthington. Nakabuai can't get involved. He was called offside. It's got him the 10 metres now, so he can. But it's Warren and Kamano that's in there at marker. Guy Graham maybe potentially caught high. Couple of shouts from the Whitehaven players. Referee Kevin Moore not interested. 32 out of Whitehaven in centre field. Ellis is going to go right into the hands then of Hannigan. Finds High, and just a little fumble I think there from High, so just had to regather himself. 28 now a Whitehaven. Coming back into the middle. Finds Hannigan. Hannigan out the back to Carter. Carter then finds Mason. Mason's then going to put a little kick forward. Corkill's going to try and get to it. It's just going to be pulled down. Throws it back. Offload's going to be pulled forward. I think Carter knocked it on before the line anyways, but that pass from Corkill to Carter, could tell it was forward straight away, and that's maybe why Carter wasn't quite at the races in trying to collect that ball. It's going to be scrum down, head and feed, 10 metres out, and Whitehaven looking slightly better in this second half, just not able to execute at the minute, Josh.
Yeah, you know that. Again, you know, it's another good set. You know that it's controlled. Featherstone are coming away from their own 10. You know, yeah, they played a double block shape again, and black round the back. And I'm not sure they, other than Hennigan, didn't really engage anyone early on. You know, so Mason didn't really have much options, but you know, they were unlucky there. Corkle could have easily picked that up and got over the line. It was a good last ditch tackle from Addy. You know, and they're trying. You know, so if I were done to goal, I'd be happy with how we started this half, minus that first minute or so.
It's going to be a penalty. Nakabuai blasted Noah High and Lachlan Hannigan out the way. Hugh Worthington was involved there as well, and Hugh Worthington looks perplexed as why the penalty's been given. Ball's been stripped. I didn't see it loose or anything, but must have been under the body of Ben Nakabuai. Referee Kevin Moore has given that as a penalty, and we're back to all squared in the penalty count of 4 penalties apiece, and Rovers just knock it downfield. And you can see the energy from Connor Wynn there, trying to get there as fast as he can so they can get the tap as fast as they can, and finds now Brad Dare. Dare's going to be pulled down 28 metres out. Jones in there at dummy half, going to come right into the hands of Patton. Nakabuai's in there, gone through a lot of work as Nakabuai's coming onto the field. A lot of it hasn't had to be defensive. 18 metres out, centre field. Jones goes left into the hands of Patton. Patton then out the back now to Addy. Addy then to Brad Dare. Going to be knocked backwards. It's going to be able to knock on initially because it took a couple of hands from Brad Dare. And it's going to be. Andy Sweet's definitely confirmed it's a knock on. I'm just 100% sure it's going to be a knock down, scrum down, head and feed to Whitehaven. A bit of pressure on Brad Dare has forced that error, and the defence just trying to get back into this game for Whitehaven. Obviously, I imagine the message from John Gawley would have been, well, the game might be gone, fellas, but let's try and win the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know that they're going all right at the moment. Yeah, they're working hard. They got a bit of line speed there. You know, they put pressure on Brad Dare as he's hitting that crash ball. It's always difficult to take. You know, they just need to get a clean set here. If they can get, you know, refs giving a few penalties now, you know, maybe a bit zealous, or you know, if they get on that front foot and just work upfield, then I can see points in them. You know, Featherstone are not a particularly brilliant defensive side. You know, and Whitehaven have had opportunities. You know, they're probably unlucky to still be on nil, but you know, hopefully they can get in the right position to get those points.
Lachlan Hannigan's the man to be wrapped up here. He took the line on as Whitehaven shifted the ball left to right into the hands now of Lucas Castle. Still in their own half here at Whitehaven. Is that being stripped? It has been stripped. It's going to be a penalty for Whitehaven. I think Castle-Wadi was looking to try and get his arm free for the offload. Ball was stripped from the Featherstone man. Could have been Toby Warren potentially, I think. It's going to be an opportunity for Whitehaven to knock this ball up and start once again in Featherstone territory. It's going to be Hannigan to knock the ball into touch, right-footed, 15-16 metres, and they're going to start exactly on the Featherstone 40 here. Evans takes the tap, and then obviously to Adine Gevian, the Papua New Guinean, receives it and takes it 10 metres. Ellis in there at dummy half, going to come left now into the hands of Hannigan. Hannigan just pops it up to Noah High. High's going to be wrapped up 23-24 metres out. Ellis in there at dummy half. The potential, I think, is that a potential crusher, just putting a little bit of pressure on the back there of Noah High, and the Cumbrian native, who's obviously on loan from Waddington, is just sort of struggling from that. And what was your opinion there, Josh?
Yeah, you probably have to be careful, my opinion on it, really, but a lot of players now, if there's crushers are bad tackles, there's no doubt about it, and crushers do injure players. But now if anybody feels any sort of pressure on them, they're staying down, and they'll probably get a penalty for it. They watch it a lot in the NRL, they watch it in the Super League, and you know, even at NCL level, players are doing that. There's no malice in it. I don't think Nakabuai has deliberately done anything there. It's one of them where if you carry into contact and then get turned and have your back facing the defensive team, it's very difficult for people to not put pressure on and come up with that. I mean, Noah High is now on his feet. He's fine. He's flexing his neck. Like, was there an injury? Was there not an injury?
The incident's being put on report. Danny Addy and Ryan King was pulled out in the absence of James Newton out there at the moment. So Guy Graham's the man pulled down now, 12-13 metres out, in line with the left-hand side post, goes right. Castle finds Hannigan. Hannigan has to step inside, but wrapped up by some fast Featherstone Rovers defence. Plays the ball, goes left into the hands of Noah High. High gets it away to Graham. It's going to be forward because High fumbled it and just ended up trying to catch it at the second attempt and knocked it forward. And similar to what we're seeing really from Whitehaven, the idea and the plan is there, the execution just isn't right. No,
it's not. You find that happens when you're doing it tough. It's the effort's there, the application's just found in a bit wanting. But again, they're turning it over on the Featherstone 10 metre line, so it's not the worst place to be doing, and still making Fev work hard to work out a yardage. So I think they could probably do to freshen it up a little bit in the middle of the field. obviously they brought Lucas Castle back on, and I thought he had a good going first stint. And there's a bit of a break now. Danny Addy's having some work done, and he's been having work done all game. I think he's got a personal physio by the look of things.
Sort of. I think it's maybe just, he's been around rugby league a long while, is Danny Addy, and them sort of aches and pains and muscles but he also knows that I can just slow this down a little bit here, and if I need to. I mean, he didn't need to because he's going to be, but he's one of them that
he's not rushing.
He's not, is he? But scrum comes from Featherstone, gets out to Connor Barley. Barley's going to be met there by 3 Whitehaven defenders, Carter and King being the main ones. Gareth Gale now looking to try and take his side forward. I don't think I've ever seen Gareth Gale have a bad game. I don't think I have. It's just he just seems to be so consistent. But you're going to tell me something different now, aren't you?
Yeah, I've seen him have a few. A lot near the sort of back end of my playing career, Gaz were playing for Fev Lions, and he has it in his locker. If he makes an error early on, he can repeat that. And certainly when Fordy was York coach, they used to pepper Gaz because they knew that at some point he would make an error. But he's a good lad. He's a roofer by trade, and he's a good lad, and he's done naught but good things in the Featherstone shirt, in my opinion.
So Patton attempted to go for the 40-20 there, off for the second time in this game. Didn't catch out Jake Mason on that occasion. Joey Romeo's going to play the ball now, 23 metres out. Now comes across to Rio Corkill. Corkill's going to be wrapped up just short of his own 30. Ellis in there, goes right into the hands of Lucas Castle. Initially maybe looked like he was going to pass it along, but elected to take the line on himself. Made more metres horizontally rather than forward, but takes Whitehaven into centre field. Comes left now into the hands of Guy Graham. Graham's going to make it to the 40 is the Scottish international. It's the 5 and last. Ellis still in there at dummy half. Going to go right into the hands then of Hannigan. It's a sort of spiral kick, but you'd imagine Aikens gets there and does take it, no issues. Just where they're turning the sort of ball over. First tackle here, and Connor Wynne's made it to as near as makes no difference, 40 metres away from his own line. 6 again, and then a penalty. And as I said in the first half, just Whitehaven at times have been their own worst enemy. Yeah,
it was needless. Wallace had sort of got him in a bit of an headlock, really, and Wynne is a bit of a loose cannon on the floor. He's always sort of writhing and trying to get all over the place, and I don't know whether Wallace had took exception to anything there, but he just didn't want to let go of him, and it's one of those. It's a needless penalty. That they've been starting to set on the 40, but they're now starting on Whitehaven's 35. So yeah, it's tough.
Minikin took the tap and run it forward, and he's going to be pulled down 23 metres out, 20 metres in from the left hand side touchline. They go down that left hand side. Aikens then gets it across to Brad Day. Day's then going to be wrapped up 8 metres out. Jones in there at dummy half. Going to come in towards the middle with Aikens. Aikens then swings it across to Patton. Patton's then just going to give it to Gadwin Springer back on the field, just replaced Maurice Kamano. 15 out now of Fev. Comes right into the hands of Nakabuai. Nakabuai is going to be pulled down 5 metres out. Centre field, right under the black dot. Jones elects to go left. You shouldn't be stopping Gadwin Springer. They do. Finds the offload to Jones. Jones then finds Patton. Then finds Addy. Finds Hardcastle. Just sort of bunched up there. Did the home side. 5 and last. 4 metres out. Comes left into the hands of Danny Addy. Addy then going to put a little kick forward. It's going to be plucked out the air then by Noah High. Then it's going to be called high. And it was high on Noah High. That's a lot of highs there, isn't it? But it's going to be a penalty here for Whitehaven. It's going to be a stoppage in play by referee Kevin Moore. Whether he's just going to pull Addy out here, I think. And
there's been a few penalties, so he's probably just going to be saying, like, look, we need to tidy this up. But I think I just want to call out Guy Graham there for his defence in that set. Like, he's long into his stints. We're 18 minutes into the second half, and we're 18 minutes in, and he's doing it tough. But he's come up with 3 big tackles there, twice on Gadwin Springer at full flight, and one on Nakabuai. Well, he's hit them both. Textbook really. That you want to teach kids. He's whacked them both in thigh, and drove them backwards both times, and needs a pat on back for that, because that's tough D on your own line.
Corkill took the tap from the penalty, 35 on the 35-metre line. King plays the ball. Potentially could have been a 6 again because Addy pushed him, but Brad Day has got the ball, and no, yes, maybe. He's in for his hat-trick, he's Brad Day. And when you do it, goes from bad to worse. You just sort of pick the pocket there of a pass, or was it a sort of loose carry or a loose fumble from the pass? Either way, Brad Day went 40 metres before being untouched. He was pulled down just 2 metres short of the line, but wasn't diffused and was able to get the ball over. Ryan King pointing something out there to referee Kevin Moore. Not happy as the Italian international. Kevin Moore just continues walking, and Brad Day's in for his 11th try of the season, completes his hat-trick on this right-hand side. It's Rovers' 7th of the afternoon. It's Featherstone 40, Whitehaven 0.
Yeah, as you say, I mean, we had a similar try ourselves yesterday at Kells. You know, when you're doing it tough, they're playing a bit of shape. It's a one-on-one contact. Brad Day's it Noah high, and he's pinched ball off him, and ran in. For us at Kells, similar. We were on their try line and their centre, pinch pocket and ran length at field. So, they were trying. They probably played a bit more expansive than you would expect, sort of coming out of yardage. But they were working hard, and Brad Day's probably old man Noah high, and then obviously another 6 points.
Patton adds the extras. It's Featherstone 42, Whitehaven 0, and I've even knocked the Rugby League scores off on my iPad because I think Lewis Hamilton's just about to win his 9th British Grand Prix, so I'm more interested in that. That shows probably what's going on out there at the minute here at Post Office Road. It's Featherstone 42, Whitehaven 0 on the BBC Sport app. I've just got the live reporting coming in from Silverstone. Hamilton looks like he's about to win his 9th British Grand Prix. Verstappen chasing though, so I'm going to keep an eye on that one. I'll also keep an eye for that one here at Post Office Road, but Featherstone are 42-0 to the good. Connor Wynn's going to collect the kick-off and then finds Leo Tennyson. Tennyson just going to be wrapped up. Ball comes out, knock on. And it's good that Whitehaven are still sort of celebrating. They've been able to force the error, and while you're 42 points down, you sometimes just got to celebrate them small wins.
You've got to build. Every win you get, if you get a quick play ball, you get a 6 again. You get a force and error. You've got to celebrate those things, regardless of whether you're 42-0 up or 42-0 down. It's an infectious game, and obviously we've talked about momentum. Fordy's reaction to that, he's sort of threw his arm and he's folded his arms again. He's not happy.
Penalty to Whitehaven. They've held the ball at the back of the scrum. The scrum broke, and then they've tried to pick the ball up as Leo Tennyson, and they've elected to retake the scrum. I mean, it's an option. It's an option you don't see taken all that often, but they've elected to retake the scrum of Whitehaven. Fair play.
I'm expecting a Super 6 scrum play now.
Still held it at the back of the scrum. Comes left now into the hands of Carter. Carter then finds Rio Corkill. Carter's been taken without the ball. It's going to be another penalty.
I'd be surprised if he's not binned here. It's just needless niggle. Like, it wasn't the worst late tackle you've seen, but it was needless niggle, and Featherstone have given a lot of penalties away recently, and Carter's still down injured, and I'd be surprised if Josh Hardcastle don't get 10 minutes here.
I'd be surprised, and everyone else might be thinking, if they're looking round at me just then, just while you're describing that, and I'm fist pumping in the air, that's because Lewis Hamilton has just won his 9th British Grand Prix. His first victory since the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in 2021, 9 at Silverstone, so Josh Hardcastle is just making sure. Just making sure the red come out just initially, and it is only going to be yellow for Josh Hardcastle for that tackle on Jake Carter. For those listening, if you haven't guessed, yes, I am a Formula 1 fan. So we'll put the Rugby League scores back on now, and while we've got a stoppage in play, we'll run through them. Super League, Salford 18, Hull 12. Dewsbury 16 points apiece against Doncaster. Dewsbury were winning 16-4 at half-time in that one. Swinton 12, Widnes 12, Wakefield 24, Batley 12, York 44, Barrow 6. It's not a good afternoon for the Cumbrian side. In the Women's Super League in the Championship, but down in League 1, Newcastle 0, Workington 44, that's full time, 2 o'clock kick-off. Crusaders 18, Midlands 32 was a 2:30 kick-off. A 3:15 kick-off was Keighley 12, Rochdale 14. Whitehaven now look to fetch this ball forward. Ainley plays the ball, comes left into the hands of Ryan King. King trying to force his way over is the Italian international. Whitehaven desperate not to be pointless. And is it going to be another penalty? It is going to be another penalty, and Fev in danger of maybe of just losing their heads a little bit, just despite being 40-0 up, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, he's carried combatively there as king, and it's him and Tennyson are having a bit of a spat, and you know they're clearly not very happy about something. King keeps wiping his nose. I don't think there's any blood or out like that, but yeah, like Fev have got to be smarter. You know that these things get picked up, and you get banned for doing daft things now. And
especially when you've already got 2 on report, you don't want to be given much more for the match review panel to be looking at.
Gosh, you don't. No, you know, 4D, imagine we were sending water boys on saying just chill out and play the game. Yeah,
we're 42-0 up. Like, chill out. Do you know what I mean? Like, in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to make a massive difference.
No, like they'll want to. You know,
they'll want to keep the nil, of course.
Of course they will, and they don't deserve it. Like, you know, Whitehaven have certainly done enough to deserve some points in this game, but Fev will wanting to defend the line.
Castle plays the ball, Ellis goes right, finds Carter, finds Hannigan. Hannigan spins out of one tackle and is able to get up. 5 metres out, in line with the sticks, goes right into the hands of Mason. Mason now has to stand up and comes back from where the play the ball came from, and he's now going to be taken down 5 metres out, in line with the sticks. Lenny Ellis looks to dive over and dummy after the hook. Loney, has he got that ball down?
He has, yeah.
He hasn't. Referee Kevin Weir, I tell you what, he's a lot closer than we are, but Ellis looked over. Hannigan's looking at a little kick in on this right hand side. It's just going to be dead, and Whitehaven aren't going to have come much closer than that this afternoon. Lenny Ellis must be in a blade of grass short, Josh Mortimer.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, the referee's a lot closer than we are, but he seemed to roll at the last minute and just reach out, and you know, the ref were pointing, you know, quite early on, but to me that looked like it were on the line. And
same here. It'd be interesting to watch that back, and but either way, referee Kevin Weir, who of course is a lot closer than we are, so we have to, you know, we'll go with his judgment for now, but it still remains Featherstone 42, Whitehaven 0. BBC Radio Cumbria Sports Online. We make it around about 18.5 to go here at Post Office Road as Connor Wynn bumps off Lachlan Hannigan, and Dean Gebby's taking Brad Day high. Could Dean Gebby see another 10 minutes? He's just coming from behind, and I think it'll be a penalty and nothing more, but they're shouting for it at the Featherstone fans, and I do think it'll be a penalty and nothing more, but just with what he's done already so far this afternoon, Kevin Weir, it wouldn't surprise me if you've seen a yellow.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a try scoring opportunity. There was more than enough people around, and Brad Day's not the fastest man to take advantage of that.
He's pulling him out.
He is pulling him out.
Ryan King's going to come over to try and fight his corner.
He's not gone to pocket, I don't think, yet. Though. Yeah.
He's told Ryan King, I don't want you, but as the captain, he's got a right to be there.
Yeah, but he's been chirping off him a few times, so he might be setting.
He sent him. Yeah. He sent him for 10 minutes. That's the second time Dean Gebby's seen yellow in this game, and it means now we're down to 12 men apiece for the next sort of 7 minutes or so. I understand, but I think it's harsh at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can see why he's giving it, but
yeah, I agree. But I think he's probably made a rod for his own back. Not necessarily with how he's reffed this half. That's probably a bit harsh on him. With how both teams have been discipline-wise this half, you know, there's been a lot of needless niggle. He's obviously sin bin Hardcastle for his needless tackle. And he's probably thought, I need to sin bin this fella for that. It wasn't an awful high tackle. Brad Day was fine.
It's become scrappy, and which you do sort of often see when these games, when it gets to these sort of stages in games when the contest is all but over. It's become really scrappy. As Godwin Springer's now the man to fetch it forward. Featherstone are 10 metres out, in line underneath the black dot, goes left then to Addy. Addy then goes into the hands of Leo Tennyson. As he's being held up, he's going to lose the ball over the line there. He's Tennyson in trying to get his arm free. Will Evans collects and take a quick tap to Whitehaven. And Will Evans has made 15 metres. Joey Romeo was screaming for the ball, but if he did, he wins. Whitehaven wouldn't have been able to go for the quick tap. Centre field, 35 away from their own line. Now finds Carter. Newton's now back out there to replace Lenny Ellis. We make it 16.5 to go, but there's been plenty of stoppages. So we'll wait and see and keep an eye on that one. King now looking to fetch Whitehaven forward. Italian internationals stopped exactly on halfway. 20 in from this near left-hand side touchline. Newton in there at dummy half. Goes right into the hands of Ross Ainley. Ainley now out the back to Hannigan. Hannigan looks to step back inside after the dummy, but I'm glad I'm not Lachlan Hannigan and just had Godwin Springer come in as the third man and just pull me to the ground. Ainley then finds Lucas Castle. There's a little bit of a gap there. If he says it come off his shoulder, I don't think he did, but okay. Now finds Noah High offloads, finds Lachlan Hannigan. Ball bounces down backwards. Does referee Kevin Moore say that giving us a knock on 99 times out of 100.
Yeah.
Newton in there at dummy half, comes into the hands now with Ainley. It's really scrappy out there at the moment here on BBC Radio Cumbria Sports Online. 5 and last, going to come left into the hands of Jake Carter. Carter with a kick towards the left hand side corner. Romeo's trying to get there and it's going to be a penalty. Frankly, I was going to say it's nice to know it's not just me. Players aren't allowed to contest. They can't contest these days.
You think back to the first half. I think it was probably Featherstone's first set. Gebby went up in the air. Someone sort of like went underneath him a little bit. Didn't do anything. And the same's happened here. And Fev have come up with a penalty for it. And it's one of them, isn't it? Like you want consistency, and there's been no consistency with those two decisions.
17 penalties, Josh.
Really?
17.
Oh, wow.
17 penalties. It's an average of 4 penalties. A penalty every 4 minutes currently, and
it
hadn't been that sort of game. It was only 4-3 in the. So we've seen 10 penalties in the second half alone.
Yeah. Teams are getting frustrated.
Yeah.
You often say, players need to improve their discipline, but you've repeatedly got something frustrating you.
Fev nearly in, going down that left hand side.
There's only the opposing team you can take your aggression out on.
So wins in there at dummy half, comes across then to Patton. They're in the Whitehaven half now are the home side. It's Tennyson.
It's Bowes with the hit up.
Is it Bowes or is it Tennyson? I don't know, it's Bowes, yeah. He looks to be in it loose forward now. Jones is remaining in there at 9. Patton with a kick over the top. They've realised the Whitehaven fullback isn't there. Bounces up kindly for Caleb Akins. And that is just the vision of Deck Patton all over, isn't it? He really has got that in his game. It's Featherstone's 8th try of the afternoon. It was just a kick over the top. Akins there, realised Mason wasn't in at fullback. He must have been in the defensive line. And it's Akins in, just making sure it's his second of the afternoon. It's his 9th try of the season. It's Featherstone 46, it's Whitehaven 0.
Yeah, it's very good. Like, Fev have been missing a half-back. Ben Reynolds left early in the year to go to OKR. Thomas Lacan's been injured for most of the year. He's in and out. Signing Patton was a really good signing in my opinion, just purely because we need a half-back, and it's probably been the difference today. Deck Patton's ability to just play rugby and play what he sees. Looking at him, he doesn't look the fittest. He's often holding his groin. He's got one of his legs heavily strapped up. I don't know how fit he actually is, but he knows how to play the game, and he's scoring. Or certainly created and scored some good tries for Featherstone today. There's no doubt about it.
The expression he could have played in a dinner suit sort of springs to mind for Patton this afternoon. He has just been controlling that game as Connor Jones is going to leave the field now, so that's Featherstone's last interchange is done. That's a little bit risky with 12 and a half to go here on BBC Radio Cumbria Sports Online, but Patton adds the extras. 8 conversions and a try for the personal points haul of 20 points for the Featherstone Rovers halfback, and it's Featherstone Rovers 48, Whitehaven 0. And while Featherstone are well good for the victory, I don't know whether they've quite been 48 points better, Josh Mortimer.
No, not at all. It's one of them. That they got that momentum early on, and they've rode that wave. And again, that kick off, it's a good kick off. It's threatening. It's bounced. On Featherstone 30, it's gone everywhere, and Whitehaven players could have got it, and had it been 20 points up, someone would have definitely picked it up. But Feather juggled it and caught it on the 20, and now they're exiting well.
So Wynn plays the ball, comes across then into Minikin, gone through a lot of work. Has Greg Minikin. He's going to play this ball on his own 40, 10 short of halfway, goes left, finds Akins, then finds Patton then finds Brad Day. Day's going to be wrapped up, taken down. Bounds is going to jump in a dummy half. 42 away from the Whitehaven line. Patton in the middle of the field finds Akins. Aikens just steps inside, gets around one, gets around two. Aikens then's going to be pulled for obstruction here, otherwise it was going to be Connor Barley in for his second of the afternoon, but judged to have gone round the back of someone there of Featherstone, and I'll be honest, I didn't see too much wrong with that, but I think they've been a little bit harshly done to there of the home side, but referee Kevin Moore has pulled them back, and he's going to be a penalty to Whitehaven here, their 10th of the afternoon.
I mean, it's they've played a hook to a drop off to a cross to a cross, and it's one of those where if you really wanted to review every play, when people are playing block shapes into line, you're going to get obstructions, and they usually let go. I'm not sure why that one's brought back. Probably been brought back because Featherstone are 48-0 up.
Yeah. Well, for 48-0 up, and also the fact he's broke through. If he hasn't broke through, that doesn't get given. Do you know what I mean? But Ross Ainley now is the man to take this ball forward for Whitehaven. They're going to be 12 metres short of the Fev try line, right hand side of the post, coming towards the middle now with Lucas Castle out the back to Carter. Carter then comes across to Rio Corkill. Wasn't the best pass, and Corkill just sort of held up in the air, and Corkill had to wait for it. Wasn't too much power on it, let's say. Plays the ball 12 out, left hand side of the post now. Carter now finds Lucas Castle. Castle takes the line on this occasion, but he's just put down to the floor. He's the Australian. Right hand side, in line with the right hand side post, 11 metres out. Newton comes left to Carter. Carter then out the back to Mason. Mason just looks to knock it backwards, and he's going to bounce into the hands of Gareth Gale, and there's a foot race on. Hannigan's trying to get back, he's going to lose it there forward, and it's scrappy and thing, and Jake Mason's just sort of holding up. We know he's been struggling with his hamstrings so far this season, is Jake Mason, and not again. Not again. You'd hope not. He's limping away. He's Jake Mason. It's going to be scrum down, head and feet to Whitehaven. He's missed a couple of games so far this season, is Jake Mason. And I reckon if Jonty Gawley has got any changes left, it would be get him off there and make sure we're not going to miss him for the remaining weeks of the season. Mason shifts it away. And I think it might be better. You'd be better maybe putting Mason on the wing and reverting Joey Romeo at the full-back. Wait and see if that takes place. Ball's gone shifted right into the hands of Will Evans, and defence there from Conor Wynne is right on top. He's sort of arguing a toss out there, is Jake Mason. You're 48-0 up, Jake. Let's be honest, it's not going to make a difference.
No,
do you know what I mean? Like, if you've got an injury concern, get him out.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like he's there, he's hobbling around in back play. Hamstrings are not something, you know, if they're tweaked, you've got to just get them off. Like, and I mean, he's carrying now. He's kicked and chased.
I think he's now trying to prove a point. He's Jake Mason. He could try and get there, could Jake Mason. In all fairness to him, he's tried to, and he's gone. There, it's got. I think it's gone. And that.
He can't slow down. Yeah.
Yeah, he cannot slow down.
It's dumb.
We're telling Joey Romeo to go at the fullback, which is what Whitehaven wanted him to do. A set ago, he's gone. You shake your head in disbelief, you do.
It's not playing with your brain, that.
Yeah, it just isn't, and I understand he's frustrated and such things like that, but Whitehaven have now potentially lost Jake Mason for the next few weeks because he's hobbling once again, where if he come off a minute ago, he could have, you know what I mean, that could have been saved. In the meantime, there is a game of rugby league ongoing out there, and Featherstone have made it to their own 30. Comes right now into the hands of Addy. They've noticed here that Whitehaven's now short on numbers because Romeo's had to go drop in a fullback, and then it's going to be gets the ball out to Gareth Gale, and that's exactly what happened and exactly what you expect when Jake Mason should have left the field the play before. Romeo's had to drop in a fullback. They haven't had time to get an interchange on, and while you can only say for the previously that Whitehaven's been unlucky, that's dumb. Completely of their own making there. Yeah. Well, I don't want to call Jake Mason out, but it's completely out of Jake Mason's fair because he hasn't left the field. Yeah. He's then left his side short, and that's where they've come down this right hand side.
Yeah, like probably the rest of the team have probably not picked up on that sort of change. He's been on the right wing shouting at the left winger, go to full back. They've not adjusted. You know, Feather coming out of their own 40. They've got a 4-on-2 with 30 yards at field to play in. It's always going to be a try in that situation, and that's individual errors have cost the team 6 points there, and I imagine Jonty Gawley's not going to be too happy with it.
I get it. you're 48-0 down, you want to try and make a difference. Jake Mason feels you can do that, or tries to do that for Whitehaven, but you're 48-0 down. If you fail a niggle, and Whitehaven had an interchange remaining, which they've now used to bring him off, Patton looked like he was going to swing to the wide right of that post there. Patton continues, and 50's up for Featherstone.
Yeah.
It's Featherstone 54, Whitehaven 0. But just going back to that point, you know what I mean? Like, if you're 48-0 down at the time, you're not going to make a difference.
Yeah, I mean,
you know
I'd got yesterday. We were 34-12 down. The game was gone. Alfie Crawford's probably one of my better players. He's struggling a little bit. I was just like, Alf, just go off. He's like, no, I'm all right. I'm like, just have 10, mate. Don't worry about it. Like, you look after your assets. Like, you just. The game's gone. Like, we're obviously not governed by your eight substitutions like the championship teams are, but you get your assets off the field because no point risking them.
Whitehaven's come up with the ball from the kick-off. It was short once again, and it bounced and it bounced and it bounced into the hands of Dean Gebby, and now means Hugh Worthington has ball in hand. Newton in there at dummy half, going to come left now into the hands of Lucas Castle in centre field. They're sort of 18 metres out now of Whitehaven. We make it just over 5 minutes to go here at Post Office Road. BBC Radio, Cumbria Sports Online. Newton then goes right, finds Ainley, finds Hannigan. Hannigan now finds Romeo. Romeo's going to try and put a little kick in, but it falls. It doesn't, and it goes into the hands of Hardcastle. Hardcastle's down that left-hand side. Hannigan's on the chase. Ellis is on the chase. Tries to get it back inside and finds Connor Wynne. Carter's trying to get there. It's going to be Featherstone's 10th try of the afternoon, and he's absolutely knackered there. He's Connor Wynne. But he's grounded the ball in the left-hand side, and it's Featherstone's 10th of the afternoon. And that, I think, just sums up the last 75 minutes of rugby league that we've seen. It just doesn't fall in favour of Whitehaven. It's falling in favour of the home side. It's Featherstone 58. It's Whitehaven 0.
Yeah, just extremely unlucky again. I do feel for Whitehaven because the difference has not been 60 points. Again, they're playing some enterprising shape there. Joey Romeo's just tried a little grubber kick in. He's hit Minkin's shins. He's grubbered it forward. He's picked it up and he's found Connor Wynne into a bit of space who's romped him from 40 out. And yeah, it's one of them where when the chips are down against you and you're doing it tough, that's when you get points. And they've just got to scrap this game. Forget about it. Personally, I'd have a bit of a team bonding session, get a few beers flowing, something to eat, get round each other and kick on again next week. Just bottle this, and it's not our day.
Deck Patton's going to be lining up. He's looking for his 10th conversion of the afternoon. He's 9 from 9 so far. He's Deck Patton. He's 10 from 10. It's Featherstone 60. Whitehaven 0. We're into the final few minutes. Referee Kevin Moore has stopped the clock. We make it exactly 3 minutes and 15 minutes to go here at Post Office Road. We'll run through some scores from elsewhere in the Super League. Salford 20, Hull 12. Dewsbury 16, Doncaster 20 is a full-time score. Swinton 20, Widnes 12. Wakefield 34, Batley 12 is a full-time score. York 54, Barrow 12 is a full-time score. It's Keighley 18, Rochdale 20. Gary Thornton's side just signed a new contract. He joined us last week on BBC Radio, Cumbria Sports Online. They're 2 points up at Keighley, 20 points to 18. Whitehaven attempt to go short once again, and it's going to come off the hands of Connor Wynne. Knock it forward, and it's going to go into the hands of AJ Wallace. We're into the roundabout final 3 minutes as we make it here on BBC Radio, Cumbria Sports Online. Comes left now into the hands of Ross Ainley. Whitehaven won't want to go back to West Cumbria pointless, especially after only scoring 4 points in the second half last week. Comes left now into the hands of Hugh Worthington. Worthington just to the right hand side now. He's been pushed back a couple of metres, plays his sort of 8-9 metres out. Comes left into the middle to Lenny Ellis. Ball stripped from Hardcastle, and they're nearly going to go once again there to Featherstone. And they've really peppered him of Lenny Ellis. They peppered him in when they were in attack earlier on, and he's only slight there is Lenny Ellis, and they've been able to strip the ball from him.
I don't know how old he is. He looks a relatively young
he's
lad.
19 tomorrow.
Yeah, he looks a young lad, and fair play to him. He's put his body online, and he's not lacked effort. He was unlucky with that try under the sticks that I do think should have been given. But Feather are probably exposing a little bit of naivety from young lad at the moment, I think.
We make it into the final 2 minutes here at Post Office Road. As which one is it? Barnett's going to play the ball down, comes across to Addy. Addy then steps round to Hugh Worthington and pushes off James Newton, and Addy should be in, and he is. It's that 11th try of the afternoon, and I think that just sums it all up. He bounced off one, he bounced off two, it was one-on-one, and Joey Romeo looked like he wanted nothing to do with that contest and just essentially powered over Joey Romeo there. That should be our last action, I think, here at BBC Radio Cumbria Sport Online. We'll wait and see if the full-time hooter sounds, but it's Featherstone 64, Whitehaven 0.
Yeah, I think out of all the tries that they've conceded today, I think that one will probably upset Jonty the most. But there were opportunities to tackle Addy in middle of field there, and really boys had just stopped moving and decided they weren't, and then there was no pressure put on him once he broke the line. As you say, Joey Romeo tried tackling him under the sticks really with a legs tackle, and that's not going to work really there. So yeah, that one were a disappointing try, I think.
Patton should add the extras here, and with a try of his own, if he knocks over the extras, a personal point total of 26 points for the Rovers halfback. Not a bad day at the office, is it?
No, that's pretty good. Pretty good.
Just right in front of the sticks here is Deck Patton, 12 metres. Knocks it over and just stop the clock. There's referee Kevin Moore. We make it 25 seconds to go here at Post Office Road. It's Featherstone Rovers 66, Whitehaven 0. There's not too much more to say really, is there, Josh?
No, it's not a 66-0 difference. Fev have scored some decent points and they've done well, but yeah, Whitehaven have just been extremely unlucky at large parts of the game, and that it's probably difficult to get themselves up, mentally and physically now. Gebby's just smashed Brad Day, so it was.
Yeah,
it's still game.
Attempted to go short once again, did Whitehaven, just couldn't get there. Day did get there on this occasion and smashed by the Papua New Guinean, but I'm sure he'll take that. Brad Day's scored a hat-trick and offload now into the hands of Harry Bowles from Conor Weir there. The hooter does sound here at Post Office Road, and Danny Addy's just going to take the tackle. He's not happy, he's not interested in going any further forward.
Nope.
It's full time here at Post Office Road. It's finished. Featherstone Rovers 66, Whitehaven 0, and after that such a tight game in the recreation ground back in April 28-24,